welcome back to the podcast. This week's guests are Revivalry, a young band from Cleethorpes, Grimsby area. I spoke to Ben, Josh and Luke, the three members of the band, about the pros and cons of being in a band as teenagers. If you think the Stripes were a young band, then Revivalry superseded them, with two of the members starting out their instruments at 6-year-old and 7-year-old, and the other member starting out at the ripe old age of 12. The band have 2 singles out, This Town and 2 Sips, and they're signed to Cosmic Blue record label. Big things expected of Revivalry. It was great to have a chat with the boys. As usual at the end, they picked their heroes. It was a cracking chat with the boys. I hope you're all enjoying the podcast. Please keep liking, sharing, subscribing and commenting wherever you can. But more importantly, enjoy. On the podcast this week, I have Revivalry, a young band of teenagers, Ben, Josh and Lewis, from Grimsby, Cleethorpes way. So very young band. We're going to talk about their career so far and what's coming up in the future. But what I like to do at the start with these podcasts is I go back to early life growing up, which we use boys will not be that far away. What was life like for you growing up before you became Revivalry?
Well, for me anyway, I won't lie, I had pretty much the most standard growing up childhood sort of that there is. Well, for this century anyway, because I was just on my Xbox all the time. I wasn't really doing anything. I won't lie to you. I was just playing a lot of FIFA. That was what my childhood was. And like just going out and messing about with my mates and stuff, like it was pretty bog standard, I'd say for me. But I knew Lewis since I was little, obviously, because we went to the same primary school, so we've known each other since we were like 5, I think.
It's been too long since I've known you.
Yeah. So obviously we grew up together, and to be fair, I'd say I drew a lot of my sort of inspiration for music from Lewis, to be fair, because like we had like these talent shows at primary school, and obviously being someone who didn't really do anything at all with their time, watching Lewis get on the talent show at the primary school do and play his drums, it kind of inspired me to take up music, to be fair. So I'd say like in terms of my childhood, it was pretty bog standard until Lewis stepped in. Yeah.
Saved the day, Lewis.
Yeah, go on, Lewis.
How did the band form then? Was it school, or were you all at school together?
So it was me and Ben. We went to the same school, and like Ben said, we knew each other for ages. And I think he just started picking up a guitar, and it just sort of like we jammed for a while. We just sort of messed about, did a few like local things, open mics, stuff like that. And then it was just through social media we found Josh, and then we just messaged, being like, "Oh yeah, you wanna come jam for a bit?" And it all just sort of went from there, really.
Did you know what you're letting yourself in for with that?
When I got that message, I saw them, and my mum said, "These lads look a bit chavvy. You don't have to join if you don't want." So,
and what sort of influences did you have, like musically? Like were you all the same sort of musical influences, or is there a kind of melting pot of different styles?
we all have completely different tastes in music.
Yeah.
He will listen to like he's always gone for early Arctic Monkeys and stuff. He'll listen to anything from like rap to jazz.
Yeah.
And I've always been into like my metal music, like Slipknot and Metallica and stuff like that. That's always been our kind of thing. And I think that's really where our unique sound comes from.
Yeah. It's like a fusion of all these different things. Like I know my guitar bits sometimes. I do like to use some like jazzy chords, but when you got Josh at the same time with like his like pog and like loads of pedals going around, like with a bass guitar, like he just makes something proper interesting, I think.
And what was when you started the band? what was the ambitions like? What was did you think we're going to take this? We're going to become superstars, or was it just kind of we're going to make some music in our bedrooms?
I think it was definitely the latter on that one. We had not really any sort of
Yeah,
clue what we were doing,
we
were
just
we?
sort of accidentally fell into actually
Yeah,
doing some stuff in music, but it was just us having some fun on the weekends, and it just sort of progressed. It wasn't a planned thing for anything
yeah.
to come from it.
I mean, I used to practice in Lewis's bedroom with him because obviously yes, he's the drummer, so we had to practice at his house. And I'd like shut my eyes and just pretend there was a stadium of people out there, and that's what like how I would practice, like just like sort of imagining that. But like now, obviously, we do play in front of like people and like progressively getting more and more, so it's kind of a bit like oh, you know that dream that was once there,
Yeah,
I'm getting there. So I think there was definitely like hopes and dreams to get to that level, but I don't think we really like ever took it seriously to the point where it's like, we're going to actually do it. Like it's just more of a
yeah. Because what age were you when you started out?
We've all started at different ages. Like Lewis, how old was you?
Like 7, I want to say. It was like my 7th Christmas. My uncle got me a drum kit.
Yeah.
how
And
old are you?
I was about 6 when I started playing the guitar.
I was
Jeez.
like 12, I think.
Jeez, oh, and then like to what age then starting the band? Like kind of teenagers, like young teenagers, 14.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, me and Lewis, like, I actually couldn't even play the guitar when I started the band. Like, I was just like, I was in the GCSE music room with Lewis, and I was like, oh yeah, can do it. I can do it. I'll be fine. So what I do is I show up with this like this like 50 quid Amazon classical guitar which barely plays a note. And I was just playing with that for like the first 6 months. So you couldn't even really hear it to be fair. I don't really know what I was doing. I knew about 3 chords and I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, call it a day there.
Yeah, it's just it's so young. I can remember, I don't know when it'd be 10, 15 years ago. Can you mind the band the Stripes? And they
Oh
were
yeah.
kind of they were classed as a young band, but you blow that out the water with your age. Um, we with being so young, what sort of problems then come with playing gigs? What sort of problems do you encounter with that?
A lot of the time you struggle with. So we've getting gigs has always been at the start. It was quite tough because a lot of venues don't let you in
Yeah.
under 18. Like you'll message them, you'll be like, "We're you'll send them like your band CV, and then they'll be like, "We can't have you in because you're under 18," and then you can't play like a lot of venues.
Hmm.
But we've noticed like it's more in the Grimsby area where we're from. That's more of a struggle, but like
Mm.
out into like
Like cities and stuff,
Manchester,
yeah.
Sheffield, that's not really a problem as much.
So is that like the proper see when you're going to like Manchester, Sheffield, going to the big cities, is that like proper gig venues then rather than pubs? Is it maybe like kind of pubs that are the problem?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think we've got one big venue. Like well, we've got a couple, but there's one that we can actually play around our area, which is Docks Academy, and they've
Hmm.
always been really accommodating to us. But other than that, there's not really
There's
much in
not,
Grimsby, is there?
yeah, there's not really a lot around here. We find most of our time we're spent going down to Manchester and Sheffield and all the cities because
Yeah,
that's just where there is a music scene.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe an option. I don't know if you can get them on Amazon, like the fake beards and all that. Maybe stuff like that, and then just yeah, I know it's all right. I'm 26, mate. That's my new band. See how that goes. What about with schooling? Like, are you still all at school? I seen one you had done your GCSEs. So how do you juggle schooling then with the band?
I think for me, I've always been really good with multitasking, like my two priorities. Like with the band stuff, that's stays for like weekends and like after school time, that is my priority. But in school, I'm just clicked on to like get everything all sorted and like just do my GCSEs. But now, because that's all done, it the band has become my number one priority. So it's been all you got to do is you just got to get it done with, really, and just know that there's like something waiting for you at the end of it.
It must be tough though going through school and knowing that you've got this and kind of it must be hard to kind of concentrate knowing that this is what you're going into anyway once you finish. It must be so hard to kind of bother with any of these exams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we touched on gigging, you support it. I've got a big list of bands who support it. Apollo Junction, the Kairos, Jack Fletcher Band, DJ Vega, Sam Sherdell, the Lathums, and Reverend and the Makers. So you've been getting yourself out there. You've been playing with all these different kind of styles of bands. How has that kind of helped you to evolve your sound?
I think we always like take inspiration from different bands. We try not to make it too much of like one style. Like we have to only do things that suit in this style. So when we do go out and like support the Lathums, if we see something they do, we're like, oh, I really like that. We'll take that, even if it doesn't fit with our style. Like usually, it's we just sort of take bits. So I think it's always just really helpful. Just seeing bands live, see what they do, see what we can borrow, just steal it really, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And through this, you played quite a few festivals the last couple of years. Kendal Calling being like that's probably the biggest one that I've seen. That's like massive for you to get that gig. Victorious down in Portsmouth, the Humber Sesh as well, and Tramlines. So getting the festivals as well, you're meeting all sorts of bands there as well. So how has it been playing them, and what kind of stands out? What would you say is your best festival that you've played so far?
So far for me, and I'm pretty sure the other two will agree, my favorite festival we played is Kendal Calling.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite festivals like that I've seen around. Like it's really supportive of new bands, and then some of the names they get are like really big as well, like Noel Gallagher and stuff. So it really gives like smaller bands an opportunity to play with some of these huge acts.
Yeah.
I think with Kendal Calling as well, the lineups always seem to be so varied. Like if you look at like Reading and Leeds at the weekend there, it's all really metal and dance. But I put on the iPlayer last night to watch Liam Gallagher, and it was on for about 10 o'clock. I watched an hour and a half, and it was all this in dance music. I didn't have a clue what anything was, man. And I thought I can't turn it off. If I turn it off, I'm going to miss it. So an hour and a half of songs that I'd never heard, and they were all right. Don't get me wrong, they were all right, but I wouldn't go and listen to them again. And Blink 182 there, like I couldn't get to grips with that at all, man. That's no my thing. I didn't like the chat between songs and all that. It's a bit childish for me. But
Yeah.
but I mean, like Reading and Leeds is quite. That's what it is. It's metal or it's dance. There's no really much else there. Whereas Kendal Calling, there's so much like that you can go to see. If you don't like this sort of band, then you can go somewhere else and see. So,
I think just because of
it's
definitely
it's quite a new festival as well, isn't it? It's only been gone maybe 10, 15 years itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you look at some of the more established ones, Kendal Calling, for being so young, it's kind of attracting all these names. So I think it's a cracking one to be playing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I spoke for really long there. What about the record label then? You signed to Cosmic Glue record label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Tell
that
me
was
that
a very
come about.
like that was a pivotal moment for us as a band. Like, me and Lewis actually just like he just stumbled across us like one day, and he gave us a follow on Instagram. The guy who owns the label, and Ben Robinson, shout out to him if you're watching. Great dude. Anyway, yeah, he just stumbled across us one day, give us a follow on Instagram, and like just kind of kept up with the journey. And then since then, we obviously got Josh, and like we've been like honing our craft, you could say.
Mhm.
And he just gave us a message to come and play with him. Was it where was that?
Yes,
Yes,
bar.
yeah. Thought so. And he just came and watched us, and from that moment he was just like, yeah, lads, you know what, I'm gonna give you a shot. And like I think that's like quite important to us. Like as Josh said in like an interview the other day, he was it means a lot because it's not like someone's coming up to you in like a venue after you played again and just been like, oh, well done guys, like you're the best band I've ever seen. Because like they could be saying that to every band. Like don't get me wrong, it's nice, but like
Yeah,
you kind of take it with like a pinch of salt. Do you know what I mean? But like someone saying, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on you, and that like I believe in you guys. Do you know what I mean? And kind of putting like the money where the mouth is, I guess you could say, is like I think that's quite important. It's nice to know that somebody's like believing with us, like and giving us a shot and helping younger people as well. I'd say because like I do think there's kind of like a stigma to some degree where it's like, oh, these like people are young. Obviously they're not going to be that great. Do you know what I mean? But like realistically, like you don't know that. Like you gotta like give us a chance first.
yeah,
We've been at gigs before, haven't we? And it's like people just kind of like,
Sort of talk down to you a bit.
yeah, a little bit. Like don't get me wrong, like no one's like nasty or like intentionally. It's just like they just kind of like disregard you as an actual musician just because of your age. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like anyone's ageist or anything like that, but like but like um I just think it's nice to see somebody who's not really bothered about how old we are. They're more bothered about what we're doing and like what we're trying to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like for people to take that kind of line, obviously, as you said previously, you've been playing your instruments for your like 6, 7 year old. So regardless of what age you are now, you've been doing that for 10 years or whatever. So you're probably just as seasoned as any other musician that's
Yeah.
picked it up later on. So it's nothing to do with your age. The ability's kind of there. You've took the time to learn your craft. You've took the time to hone it. You've been a band and you've practiced and you've rehearsed and you've worked up to the gigs. So it is nice that somebody's kind of took a chance, and it probably is. There's a bit more substance to it when they're backing it up with kind of taking the chance and giving you a deal.
Yeah.
Like looking on your Spotify, obviously you get a couple of singles out. I'm pretty sure, did you know have singles out before? Have they been taken away or whatever?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So is
So
this done to the kind of this record deal? Is this kind
yeah,
of
so
been done more professionally?
after we signed to Cosmic Blue, we wanted to use that as a chance to completely relaunch.
Mm-hmm.
We had a new logo made. We had new songs like ready to go out. We wanted to be almost like if you knew Revivalry before, you don't know them as much anymore. We want people to see us and think this is a new band. They've come onto the scene and they've blown everyone away. That was the goal when we was wanting to relaunch, and we just didn't think them singles from what we're releasing now, they didn't have that oomph of like what songs like The Town and Two Sips do.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think there's songs I think when we wrote them when we were first starting, just as and not because we really had like the passion or like the belief in them, but more just because we wanted to get songs out on Spotify. So whereas now it's like we're writing songs, we believe in them, we genuinely think that these are worth putting out. So I think that's sort of the difference with it, really.
yeah, no.
So what do you enjoy most as a band at the moment? Is it gigging? Is it recording? What?
I think it'd be different for each one of us. I mean, I for one, like if we want to go in like a line like through, I for one really enjoy songwriting, so that's like a big passion of mine. Like that's where I think I get the most enjoyment out of it. Like I love to see my ideas sort of like come to light and see what I can make of it. Like I think that's a big part for me. I don't know about these lads.
my favorite part for me is like the gigging, seeing like loads of people coming and watching us, like going out of their way to come watch us, and then seeing people bouncing and really getting into the songs. It means quite a lot to us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say same as Josh. It's all just about them gigs. For me, it all feels like it's basically people there. It feels like all the work you've put into it sort of came together when you can play in front of people and see them enjoy it as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I happened to listen to you earlier the day on the RGM, so that had come out last night. So bit of pain in the arse because I was trying to no kind of steal too much for them.
Yeah.
They were talking about you playing your guitar on the bar, so I went and watched the video of that. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's kind of for such a young band to have the confidence to kind of go and do that. It's something like AC/DC sort of style balls, man. What's coming up next then with obviously you've had these two singles out. Is that going to fall into an EP, or is there any more releases coming towards the end of the year?
So there isn't a set plan in place of what's going to happen right now. The fingers crossed is the aim to get an EP, and at the minute, what the priority is gigging and getting our name out there now.
And see, like doing your gigging and then recording, are you just is all the money for gigs? Does that just go into recording then straight away?
Pretty much, yeah.
For us, we luckily our label they own a studio, so the rule is with them that it's just book in, go, record as many tracks as you can.
Right.
So that's how we're always in the studio. Like was in there like 2 weeks ago, and then the week before that was in there. Which they want us to spend as much time as we possibly can on one track to make it the best track that could ever be made, really.
Mhm. And the thing is, as well, if you've got that studio access, you become more comfortable with it, and it becomes second nature to you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, from starting with the obviously Cosmic Glue, the label, I think all of us is like getting a massive amount of knowledge, to be fair, like the ins and outs of a studio, because it's completely different. Like it's like say when you go for your first gig and stuff like that, I feel like it's quite like a sort of unspoken about part of being a band, actually. Like I think like studio recording and like getting honing that skill as well. I think it's like it's completely separate to everything else. It's almost like as important as the first gig and stuff like that. The first time you're in a studio, because you're learning all like the lingo and stuff and like how to like sort of coordinate with a producer at the same time. Because like that, a lot of people do tend to struggle with that, like trying to tell the producer what they want and like not really know words for it and stuff. I did it for one, like I struggled with it at the start. But our producer's great. Shout out to Isaac as well if you're watching. But yeah, I think studio like recording and stuff, it's mega important as a band because like although like it usually takes up like a fraction of the time, it tends to be like what a lot of the people are actually seeing and like listening to. So like as much as like it's important to get out there gigging and stuff because it's dead important. I think being efficient in the studio is probably about another 40% of it, I'd say, like in terms of like importance. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. It is so different. If a band's no used to it, getting into a studio, it must be daunting getting in for the first time. So the more you get used to it, the better and the more efficient you'll work.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the news yesterday or the news coming in the next couple of days of Oasis, what's your kind of views on that?
Like that. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm absolutely buzzing. Like, Lewis's dad was actually at Nebworth, so like he brings that up quite a bit. And to be fair, I would too if I was there. But it's massive for us. Like, we're hoping to get on like a festival lineup and stuff like that there on like maybe Glastonbury. I think that's all about. The hopes are there, but I don't know if we'll
Well,
pull
a
it
bit
off.
aspirational.
Bit
But, you know.
aspirational, but you know, like we can hope, we can dream. And then so then we don't have to fork out loads of money for a ticket. But but like yeah, we'll be there either way. Well, I know I will anyway. I'll be going to his show because like bit big inspiration for us, definitely.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff online. You get a lot of people slagging them off still, pretending that they don't like them. I think it's kind of you either go one way or the other way. People are either super excited or they're trying to downplay it. But I don't think there's as many people that really dislike them is they're making out on Twitter and all that. It's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah,
I
People
can't
can't
even
just be
lie.
happy for things, can't they? No?
I can't even lie to you. If you asked me a year ago, I'd probably lie and say I didn't like Oasis because I was trying to be quirky and different. But no, Oasis are probably one of the most iconic bands of our generation.
well, not our
They
generation.
are
Well,
part of our
to
generation.
be fair, actually, yeah, maybe for our generation. It's
A lot of
interesting,
it is
actually.
our generation. They inspired a lot of bands that are coming up
Yeah,
now.
actually, yeah. No,
But
sure,
from the
you are right, yeah.
90s. But it's not
Yeah. Well,
around
that's it.
that much.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, sorry.
No, well, like on the obviously with the podcast we've got Time for Heroes and bands come on and pick their heroes. The amount of times that Oasis come up or the Strokes come up, like these kind of groundbreaking bands that influence other bands. So, maybe 20 years time, people are going to be mentioning yourselves as the kind of band that influenced them. But as I said, the podcast called Time for Heroes. The last part of it, I asked my guests to pick 4 heroes to come for dinner, why they're your heroes, and what would you cook for them. That might be, I don't know how good you are in the kitchen, but that might become an issue for you. But I fire away with your 4 heroes. You can pick 4 each if you want, or you can pick them all together, up to yourselves.
Well, let's go for like maybe like one each and then get a group one.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Good decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say mine is probably Dave Grohl. I'd be my like hero. I think it's I read his book not long ago and I thought he had some really interesting stories in there. I quite like the bit of like before he got famous and he was just like doing like he did like his first show just as like an open mic thing for drumming. He just came on and just did like a jazz thing for his mom. I thought that was really interesting. And then just like I really like his drumming in Nirvana, obviously. And then I think as just like a front man as well now with the Foo Fighters is also really great. And I just think it'd be really interesting to have like a conversation with him.
I'm fascinated with the fact that he can be a front man and he's able to drum as well, like both to such a high standard. It's like, can you imagine Liam Gallagher playing the drums?
I forgot.
I Dave Grohl's a terrific guest, a terrific first guest. Who's next then?
So I would go for Lee from the Ratons. We've obviously like hung out with the Ratons quite a bit. They're our biggest inspiration, and every time we have spoken to Lee or like done anything like with him, he's just a funny guy. He's just so nice to get on with, and if if I was to have a night out with him, I'd have a night out with Lee from Ratons. So.
I didn't realise how big they were. I went to see them last year. I got tickets last minute. They were playing in Glasgow, and it was the K's and Declan Welsh that were supporting them. So I bought tickets to see the K's and Declan Welsh. I didn't really know much about the Raytons, but the show that they put on was amazing. And the crowd was wild for it. They're massive. They're like kind of the new Arctic Monkeys sort of, aren't they?
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's definitely similarities there,
yeah. So I was kind of super impressed with them that night, and I've been listening to them ever since. The albums, both. How many albums? Has it got 2 albums? Has it got 3 albums?
3 now.
3.
Yeah. So the first 2 albums kind of had the Arctic Monkeys sound as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of that drew me in. So I'm a big fan of them now.
Yeah,
I had that a bit because it was when they were announced for Kendal 2020 before obviously lockdown happened that I was listening through all the bands that were announced and I was like, oh, these sound like Arctic Monkeys. I really like them. And that's sort of how I got into them in the first place.
Yeah. And what about yourself then? What's your choice?
For me, it's gonna have to be Johnny Marr.
Brilliant.
I'm a massive fan of Johnny Marr. I mean, his guitar work with the Smiths, and to be fair, his solo stuff after that, it's just like I think he's a generational guitar player. He's probably one of the leading influences for like guitar work and like development of like sort of styles and stuff, especially from that transition from like 80s, 90s to like 2000s and stuff. Like with all the effects and stuff he used, like his delay work is insane. Like for me, it's a massive inspiration. Like I'm a massive Smiths person as well. Like I love Smiths so much. So Johnny Marr's gonna have. I don't think I could choose anybody else. To be fair, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It must be up there, the top three guitarists at least. Anyway,
yeah. For me,
um,
I think I go David Gilmour, Johnny Marr, and
Hendrix.
yeah, probably it's gonna have to be Hendrix. I think. Although honorable mention to Prince, massively underrated guitar player.
yeah. And the thing about all the guitarists, they've all got different style as well.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah,
that I like about Johnny Marr as well, like Johnny Marr's kind of he's like the elder statesman. Like people will go to him, like Noel Gallagher will go to Johnny Marr for advice.
yeah,
You get Noel Gallagher and then you get Johnny Marr and Paul Weller. Kind of
yeah,
they three are kind of like they're just something about them like godlike status.
yeah,
So aye, that's a brilliant choice, Johnny Marr.
yeah.
And I don't think he's ever been picked or he's not been picked for we're like 99 episodes in. I think he might have been like maybe the first 5 episodes. And I can't mind Emily picking them since. So um definitely should be picked me or Johnny Marr. So you said you were going to pick one each, and then you were going to have a collective one for the band. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think would say ours is probably like Alex Turner, singer
Yeah.
of Arctic Monkeys. I think they've always been like a massive inspiration to us, and sort of probably one of the only bands that were other than like Ratings that we can all say like
Yeah,
we all love. I think you know what I mean.
yeah.
it's in terms of Alex Turner, what is it that you like about him specifically? Because there's kind of there's different aspects to him.
Anything that happened, not in the last 5 years. Nah, like, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing musician, but like, I think for me, the older stuff, like, because obviously he started quite young as well. Like the Monkeys, like they were quite young when they started like kicking off. Do you know what I mean? So I think that sort of older stuff, that first album for us especially, I think is had a heavy influence, and it kind of shows like what it would be like if everything did go to plan, if everything like was like that. I think it's just nice to have someone to sort of follow and like sort of take bits and bobs from and be inspired by, yeah. As like a collective as well, because as Lewis said, we all have different like styles and genres that we prefer. But that's one band that we can all like definitely
Yeah.
collectively. Yeah.
I mean, for me with Alex, it's obviously the lyrics, the social commentary, but as well as that, I kind of like the frontman status. I like what he does with the band now. Like, I might not specifically like the style of music or how he does it, but to have the balls to kind of come out and say, "This is what I'm doing," whether you like it or not, that takes kind of a
Yeah.
lot of guts. Um, four cracking choices. Alex Turner is like one of my dream guests. I've got Alex Turner, Liam Gallagher, Paolo Nutini, and Kano, and I've never had any of them. So I'll keep this podcast going until I get the four. But I absolutely brilliant choices, and obviously the last part is what we just cooked for them, and who would do the cooking.
I don't know. I don't really like to
What we
cook.
cooking? Hot noodles probably because otherwise we'd probably burn the place down trying to cook something. So. So, at the studio and that we're always making pot noodles because it's just really convenient and they're good. Yeah, and it's probably for the safety of everyone. We don't want to get all these famous people and then kill them all in a house fire.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, that's us then, man. That's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Obviously, as I say, the two songs, This Town and Two Sips, out on Spotify and all other streaming platforms. If people want to find out more about you, where can they get you?
Instagram.
You can get us on
Everything, not
every
just-
social media, not just Instagram. All of it is just at Revivalry Band, and then you can also get us on all major streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, just Revivalry.
Right, that's absolutely brilliant. Everybody go and check out Revivalry, and I'll be looking at for more stuff in the next couple of years. I'm going to keep a keen eye on you, and I'll maybe get you back on or something. But thanks for coming on the day. It's been an absolute pleasure. All the best.
Thanks for
going
having us.
forward.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yes.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Time for Heroes podcast. If you would like to get in touch, the best way is on the Facebook page, Time for Heroes podcast, or on Instagram at Time for Heroes podcast, or Twitter at Time for Heroes P1, or drop me an email at timeforheroespod@gmail.com. You'll find Time for Heroes on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Google, and Amazon. Please leave a review where you can, share with others, and more importantly, enjoy.